say nice things about her, but first, let me tell you how annoying she is, besides the fact that she made me speak in front of the whole school during my peaceful, supposed to be relaxing spring break. Surprisingly, Lydia is very loud. She may be quiet at school, but at home she can't stop talking. On Monday night, I was supposed to read 4 chapters of a book, but I ended up reading about 3 lines because we ended up talking about, I don't even know what. This is the story of my life. When I'm sitting next to Lydia, no matter how determined I am, I can never get things done. Also, Lydia is very picky. Whether she's shopping or getting an ice cream, it takes her so long to pick what she wants. At Craters, I usually end up getting my ice cream first and stand beside her eating my ice cream while she tries at least 2 or 3 different flavors and then asks me what she should get. To be honest, I really do not care, and I just want to sit down and eat my ice cream. Lydia is also super good at math, which means she can make me feel very dumb very easily. Whenever Lydia asks a question on the SAT math section, I would usually end up getting confused, and she would usually end up solving it herself. Well, if she was able to get the answers anyway, she shouldn't have asked me and made me feel dumb. But besides all of this, she's an awesome sister. Well, she can be awesome, sometimes. When she's not screaming or throwing chairs at me. She's so good at doing my hair. She's so good at doing my hair that I don't even have to go to a salon to get my hair done for a special occasion. She's a very good listener, so I can tell her all of my secrets. She's always on my side, so no matter what I do, she'll understand me. She's my best friend who cares for me the most, and I really can't imagine my life without her. Lydia, I know you probably don't even know what I'm saying right now because you're so nervous, but I want to tell you that you're the best sister, and I love you even though I get mad at you all the time. So although you kind of ruined my awesome spring break, good luck on your senior speech. I'm sure you'll do well.
Some struggles and awkwardness comes along with being an international student. They're hard to describe and not very relatable to many others, so most of the time when people try to tell me they know how I feel offended. I once had a Canadian who complained how hard it is for her to adapt in the States, and later in our conversation claimed she understood exactly how I feel. Okay, everyone's experience is valid, but you don't know my life, nor any language other than English. Dealing with these struggles, I find myself not belonging to any country, unable to identify with Americans or Koreans. So, let me give you some examples of my struggles after coming to the States. First, initially being overwhelmed and shocked by the humongous food portion and the amount of seasoning on the food, and then after a few months, being able to finish the entire portion completely and add for more sauce and order a dessert. It's amazing how humans can adapt to a different environment so quickly. Last summer, I went to my favorite Italian restaurant in Korea and ordered a course meal, only to realize that I needed to order an additional plate of pasta to satisfy my Americanized portion. Second, when you're talking to your Korean friends and an American expression pops up in your head, and suddenly your brain freezes and you're left unable to find any Korean words to translate it into. The awkward faces that your friends give when you don't know how to continue a sentence with proper Korean words. Then I come back to America and write a paper for Mr. Gahan. After a week, I get it back with at least one comment that says awkward on the side of my paper, so apparently I neither know how to make sentences in Korean nor in English. Third, texting my Korean friends and being unable to understand their Korean slangs anymore. I beg for explanation and they look at me like some whitewashed international student who got so far behind that even a simple thing as texting causes a problem. Or even worse, those times when I use outdated slangs and make myself look like a complete dork trying to look cool. After all of these embarrassing incidents, however, I find myself perplexed reading American magazines that are full of unfamiliar expressions, which proves that, again, I lack ability to read and write in both Korean and English. Fourth, constantly worrying about reinforcing stereotypes and feeling a responsibility to break them. Such instances include people coming up to you and asking whether you're Chinese or Japanese, asking whether you're from South Korea or North Korea. Again, let me make it clear that most Koreans living abroad are South Koreans because North Koreans can rarely leave their country, and many others. But sometimes the stereotypes are actually true and I end up reinforcing them. It's true, most Asian guys are crazy about computer games. Finally, paperwork. So much paperwork. Paperwork includes scrambling to the admission office after school to get it done right time. Even worse, after all the fuss with paperwork, I get to wait in immigration line for at least 40 minutes and as long as 2.5 hours until immigration officer evaluates my I-20. A constant fear that even a tiny infraction will result in being deported back to Korea follows you through the whole journey from Korea to America. What can be worse is sitting there and watching your mom get investigated by an officer in a separate room because she, who's only here to take care of her daughter, is falsely accused of coming to America to work without a working visa. The officer let her go when she told him that my dad was a doctor and he was the one who was paying for my tuition. It's painful to watch when you, who speak much better English than your mom, is not allowed to speak for her. After this incident, my mom and I ended up bringing even more paperwork, including bank statements, housing contracts, and a letter from assessment. Despite all these struggles, studying abroad in America taught me lessons I would have never learned if I had lived in Korea. I learned responsibility as I had to take care of problems that only adults had to deal with, like insurance problems or paying bills. I could empathize more with foreigners living in Korea because I knew what living as a minority felt like. I can confidently say that although my math and science skills are significantly below my Korean friends, I have much more valuable, hard-to-earn experiences and lessons that they don't have. My studying in the States will continue as I go off to college, and it'll come with more valuable moments and frustrating moments through which I'll grow in a way not many people will. I can't define my studying abroad experience as positive or negative, but I can say for sure that it taught me things I would have never learned if I chose to stay in Korea.